recap of the Corruption of Dreams Arc 2, Rise of the King of Llandre. Our heroes return to Arc 2 of the Corruption of Dreams to be greeted by the gargantuan corpse of Orungosk, plummeting out of the sky directly towards the stunned tiefling, Demetra Chloris, and companion cube ORD-15, or Ordis for short. Unfortunately, she was so surprised she had managed to kill the dragon that it hit her like a freight train would hit a car. Luckily, she had only sustained minor injuries and was able to be healed before the Grand Trial. The Grand Trial was held by General Stilu, leader of the Fallen Wundertoken, to prosecute the opposing guild leaders Isgan the Giant, leader of the Hippogriff's Blossom, and Archmage Sostar of Anderic, leader of the Eisterluslustarin, as well as Eldin Sealy, Jack Handsome, and Shasivan Elvenwood, informants for the Traders of Llandre, for acts of treason against the General and war crimes during the Bicentennial Guild War. After much political bickering, Adam Gur, Mieg Fruski, Demetra Chloris, and Neferia Alexi were able to persuade the judge from sentencing them to immediate execution, despite their treachery on the battlefield and to the group. After this, the reunited party, along with the legendary Isgand, went out for a round of drinks at the Golden Goblin. Isgand and Eldin had underestimated the power of Apocalypse Cow, and they were, unfortunately, how do you say, frickin' wasted. Sorry, that was a typo. Extremely intoxicated and passed out for the rest of the Arc 2. After the festivities and tales of glory, they all retreated to their rooms and went to sleep. As they dozed off with their bellies full of mead, they were visited by nightmares of dark clouds, spreading slowly across the south from the island of Llandre. When they awoke that morning, they knew where their journey would be taking them. The party was granted an airship from the capital that would take them to the island of Llandre. As they arrived at the docks of Llandre, they were met by the Fist Collector Tierna, the guardian of the island, who required them all to give away one item of significance in order to proceed onto the island. After parting with their items, including a tragic parting with a slice of quiche, they ventured across the island, fighting off undead and demons by day, and enduring assaults of unrelenting nightmares of increasing severity by night. Mieg, the sexy tiefling, was haunted by a vision, or perhaps a memory, of a passionate night with Alasia, the elven maiden who had attempted to kill Adam in the previous arc. He noticed her eyes start to glow yellow, as if she had been hiding some sort of deep evil, as well as the cloud from the Tower of Llandre spreading towards the tavern he was in. Jack saw a memory of his old friend, Tyrion, appearing to be brutally murdered by Reticulus Offentus Bart, or Rob, as everyone knew him. Neferia had a memory of when she was just a young adult looking after her younger sister, Toria. She watched as Toria was destroyed in a magical accident that involved the Dark Sphere. When Neferia touched it, she saw that one day she would be on the island of Llandre to stop something of immense evil. Eldin recalled the memory of her arrival, the abduction of her older brother, and how she had escaped the island, which seemed to have become much taller and wider than she had remembered, but tripped and knocked herself out on a rock nearby Adam's Kogoth tribe. Adam finally relived and remembered the memory of his tribe screaming in agony as he tried to save his friends, but was only rewarded with watching them being torn to shreds by Baelor demons sent by Rob. Noticing the familiar black cloud washing out the sky, Demetra witnessed her old friend, Tyrius, from her childhood island home, being possessed by Alasia, after which Demetra questioned about why her soul was still around. Shasivan was informed of an incredibly rare magic flower called the Sarin flower, which he was told was the source of these unsettling dreams everyone was having. They pressed on across the island until they reached the base of the Tower of Llandre, where Rob was hopefully hidden. Their ascent took 2 days to reach the top of the tower, when they finally came to a huge obsidian door. After they all prepared themselves for the worst, and shared their final last words to each other, they opened the doors. In the middle of the room appeared to be a dark sphere that shot an almost blinding beam of light into the sky through the glass roof, and were soon confronted by Rob. Without warning, he pressed the only button on a control panel, and everyone in the control room was suddenly warped to the coast of Arnatska. From there, they witnessed the massive mechanical dragon, Tistingvoltrigen, 2 times the size of the island itself, erupt from the surrounding waters underneath the island of Llandre. The party watched helplessly as the mechanical dragon obliterated a massive section of the continent, a mile wide. They immediately began combat against Rob, as he just watched and cackled at their struggle. As Jack dealt the final blow, however, just as Tistingvoltrigen was getting ready to obliterate the party, they saw Rob's eyes flicker with a different color, and heard Tyrion's voice calling for help. As the group realized that Tyrion could still be saved, Jack became enraged in a passionate fury. Fortunately, Rob disappeared again, who seemed to be giving the dragon its power as it collapsed into the sea, before they could deal the finishing blow and finally put an end to Rob's reign and 3,000 years of terrible evil. Though slightly discouraged, the party bonded over this experience, bringing them closer and making them stronger. They knew that after this encounter, they would need to amass a much larger group. With the horrors of the last few days fresh in her mind, Demetra sent a letter to Tyrius, who, according to Takaya, the bronze ancient dragon, was leading a civil war back on the island Yikyardna, where they spent their childhood. Jack, still filled with rage, hope, and determination from the knowledge that Tyrion's soul lived on, vowed that he would bring Tyrion back, no matter the cost. And that is where we pick up our story, with hope in our hearts, quiche in our bellies, and revenge in our minds.